Okay, let us start with the data binding. Right, I have already created the component which is nothing but the data binding. Let me get this app data binding over here and put it under your app HTML. Let me remove all these and put just app data binding. Right, and before that let me incorporate the bootstrap in the project. I'm going to incorporate the bootstrap. So what I would be doing is that let me go to the getbootstrap.com. right, I would be going to the getbootstrap.com and here just click on the download bootstrap, and can you see this is latest link of the bootstrap CDN link. Just copy this, right, and paste it under your index.html over here, and at the link section you can paste this. Right, I have imported the CDN CSS over here, bootstrap. Right, now I hope you all have worked with the bootstrap. Now I will make little bit setup of the bootstrap for the visibility. Right, so app data binding is there, and here I can say page division, or you can say dot container. Right, container, into the container there is what dot row. Right, row, into the row there is a column colmd and the 12. Right, colmd and the 12, and into that I can write the data binding. Right, here I can write what? Data binding, some basic bootstrap setup. Now here component HTML, this would be the indexing HTML, right, kind of. So here also I can have dot container. Right, here I can have dot container, then you can say dot, what's that, row, colmd and 12. Right, and here I can say h1 and data binding. Right, and after that you can have horizontal rule over here after this. Right, so your page will look like this, data binding and this horizontal rule. Just fundamental bootstrap setup. Right, index.html you have just imported the CSS, nothing more than that. Yes, data binding HTML. Right, now what I want to do is that, now let me remove all other things and just keep this data binding HTML and data binding TypeScript. Okay, now what I want to do is that here there is one variable called as my, or say, component name. Right, component name is one variable. Right, component name is one variable, and then I can have of type string. Component name is of type string. Right, and here I can say this dot component name is equals to Android, something like this. So I would be having this dot component name is nothing but what you can say, Android. So whatever this ng on in it is, presently I am not needing, let me delete that. Right, and this also import section, let me delete that. Now here I want to print, what you can say, here I want to print that app name in the same. Right, this is a component and this is template. If you can see, template is linked by the URL over here. Template is linked by the URL. Right, so here I can say interpolation data binding. Right, interpolation data binding. Now what I want to do is that I want to print, right, I want to print that value component name. So you will say me that just have, what you can say, just have something like this, right, just have one page division, and into that page division I would be having, what you can say, component entry name is equals to, right, this variable name. I'm trying to do that thing, but remember that you are just doing in the markup, it will print in the same fashion as you are writing. So see, component name is equals to component name. I want to have value of this variable. Are you getting that, what I want to say? I want to have value of this variable and I don't want to print this name. In this case I need to bind this with this, right? So that data or that data binding happens by means of this two handlebars, which is nothing but this. Now this will get some special significance. Whatever you write into the handlebars, right, whatever you write into the handlebars, that can be, right, that can be executed as an expression. So it would be considering this thing as a value, right, and answer would be the Android. Now here it is showing you what? Android. Are you getting that? So here you just have added something like this. Remember that both are referring or both are residing in the same context, right? So these are not two different components. This is a one component which is a pointing to this HTML by means of template URL. It is just pointing to different component and another style it is having. Now I would be having one more method, right? You can say 1 plus 1, right? Name of the method is 1 plus 1 and it is going to return me 1 plus 1, technically something like this. It is going to return me what? 1 plus 1, right? Now I want to call that method over here, so I would be having one more page division, right, and here you can say 1 plus 1 is equals to, so what I can do is that something like this, and I can call function 1 plus 1 like this. Is that the same name? Yes, 1 plus 1 is the same name, right? And here is your output. You have executed, or you have, what you can say, written the function over here. You have written what? You have called function inside the handlebars. I can get the value, I can write the function, plus I can write some conditional statements, conditions. 1 plus 1, right? If is less than 1, if 1 plus 1 is less than 1, then print ternary operator, right? Then print OK, else print good, ternary operator, and see the output, it's good. 1 plus 1 is returning 2, right, which is not less than 1, and that's why it has written this thing. Remember that you are doing all this thing in the HTML. What HTML could be is this. What HTML could be that we are discussing over here. Interpolation data binding. This is the first kind of data binding. First place is the interpolation. This, right? It is too small. Let me write into the H3, I suppose. Yes, functions and conditions. Yeah, but in this manner only, ternary operators only. You cannot write if else over here, and that is not with the principle of Angular, right? Whatever you want to do, right, that shouldn't be, otherwise it is a PHP, right? What not to write the PHP then? In the PHP also you write the scriptlet in the HTML. It is better to write the PHP if you are doing everything over here. So deliberately Angular team has not given you full-fledged access, right? Some things you can do only, just to variable printing, function calling, and the ternary operators over here. Then you would be writing one method over here, and you would be calling that method over here, right? So this is what you can say first kind of data binding, which is nothing but the interpolation, right? Okay, now next kind is property binding, we'll see.